Yeah, I think it's always interesting to speak to different people and to figure out like what was some of the artists that either inspired them to want to make music, or some of the artists who were inspiring them when they began to make music, and some of the artists that was influencing them as they were making music. And I feel like a lot of times it's interesting to see like how maybe far somebody comes from whoever their inspiration is, and then also to sort of notice the things that still can sort of connect them, to that thing.
Yeah.
Where it can be like, oh, okay, I can sort of see how this was one of the earlier artists that got you influenced, one of the early artists that got you inspired. What was that first recording experience like for you? You talked about going into the studio and what the first songs you was recording was, but what was that experience like? Was it any anxiety? Were you, cool, calm, and collective? Was it a difficult process? Was it a simple process? Like, what do you remember from that first studio experience?
Man, that first studio experience, we was at LC Studio, Head Bobbin Studios, and man, I just remember him having this OG presence, and like, we was all super young. Mind you, I think we was like 15, 16 at this point in time. So like, and he could tell it was like our first time. So like, bro, like really, like he took the reins. He took a lot of the anxiety out of it. And he just kind of talked to us. That was the first like real like person who ever like sat me down and like really gave me like the game of like being an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, he taught me a motto I still use to this day, and that's your job as the artist is to create. Your job ain't to critique yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so he made the entire experience like super smooth for us. So honestly, I think we just kind of laughed, and you know what I'm saying, like just kind of all got it done. I remember like some of us was a little like more polished than others, so like a couple of cats like took like way longer to record their verse. I think honestly, I feel like, because at that point in time, I would memorize all of my verses before I went to the studio. So I think maybe like 1 or 2 takes for me, like legit, like. And Slime was like, yeah, you cold.
And is that something that you still do? Like one of the other things that, because like I said, a lot of these conversations have been sort of like the first conversations on the platform. So it's been sort of going through some of the more routine questions that you ask, or more routine first questions that I'm curious about with artists. And as somebody who's like an avid writer and an avid reader and an avid listener to music, I remember back in the day when I would print out lyrics when I was like in middle school, print out someone else's lyrics, just have a notebook where I'm just going through and reading all the lyrics. I would love whenever somebody put out an album and they would have the lyrics in the linear notes, not just the production credits, and so is that something that you, so I say all that to say that I've been asking different people about what some of their early writing processes were, and then where their writing process is now. So you talked about memorizing your lyrics before you went into the studio to record. Is that still something that you do, where you memorize the lyrics before you go into the studio to record? Do you write with a pen and pad? Do you just write on the phone? Do you keep it all in your head? Like, what's your creative process these days?
So it's all of the above for me now. So having the pleasure to have been in your studio, the sessions and everything like that, like I picked up one thing from you, which is like, whatever I got in the song, that's what gets recorded that day, and then I'll come back and like add more to the song. To me, that adds like a certain level of like fluidity to the song, and it takes a certain level of stress out of creating the song, because it makes it so that I'm never like just putting in like filler. Like I'm never just like putting in like filler bars or anything of the sort in order to just have the song done. So this way the song always becomes, or 90% of the time becomes 100% of the song that I saw it being when I first thought out the concept,
right.
or when I first went down to write it. So no, I don't memorize everything before I go record anymore. I do write in my phone, but I also like freestyle a lot, like a lot of the crazier like transitions and like bridges and like some of the intros, outros like of these songs and everything like that. A lot of time it's all freestyled. It's all like off of the top of the head. It's me like sitting in the studio, sitting with the vibe, and like just kind of feeling how it goes past that point. And yeah, that's pretty much it now.
Do you